Values book. And in this episode, I'm thinking about mixing up the two things I'm interested in. One is software development. I'm Java, Android, and whatever full stack developer, and I'm also interested in psychology and marketing and all that and attention stuff. And one of these figures that attracts a lot of attention is Peterson, Jordan Peterson. And I figured out I could map some of his ideas to software development. For example, the idea that I want to map is the hierarchies of competence. And I realized hierarchies of competence is not a single pyramid of development, of improvement, or whatever. You cannot win the game of life climbing only the pyramid of competence about programming, for example. You could have the abilities and the skills to develop super fast whatever software, but if you are close-minded and don't listen to the others feedback, you're totally crap. And another thing I want to mix up is that in software development there are a lot of hierarchies, like junior software, like before noob software developer, junior, medium, senior, architect, and team lead, or whatever. There are a lot of stairways you could go in software development, but as a from psychological point of view, if you are smart enough, you understand that these all titles are just roles and not actual development. They are just roles to do the work. And this point of view makes them a little bit empty, a little bit vague. And another thing about the pyramids of competence, to create software, you must be competent about some picking some programming language and being able to code some business logic on it. But to actually climb above this pyramid of programming, I figure out you must climb also in simultaneously several other pyramids, like the pyramids of user interface. So at some point, somehow, the users of your product, your service, must interface somehow with you. So this may be with a visual interface, like some screen. It may be with audio. It may be even with implant in your brain. But in the end, your thing must be interfaced somehow to the end user, and this is another pyramid you could go through, like being able to create visual interfaces good enough so the end users could use them and not get freaking out from ugly interface. Another pyramid is the psychology of how to reach people. So you could code the best software, but if you cannot reach the people that that will use your software, you're stuck. So, being able to code with high quality, being able to create visual, some kind of interface, it may be not visual, to be able to reach people and to be able to interact with others, and this thing to be confident, so to reach people, to interfere, to go to the feedback loop, you must be confident that you have done something that is of enough quality. And when you enter the feedback loop, you must know, you must recognize when the feedback is of low quality. For example, one such low quality is the feedback, your product sucks, or your product's great. And in my opinion, these both feedbacks, even that are good and bad, are not critical feedback. The critical feedback, the good feedback, is your product does something X, but in my personal, if it's Y, it will work for me better. These ideas about how your product could improve, so to map the needs of the end user. This is another pyramid you could climb, so to be this is a pyramid outside of the programming, but it will improve the amount of work you must do to actually meet the needs of the clients, of the users, and this will actually minimize the amount of code you must produce. And in the end, software should be about meeting the needs of other people, not just coding for fun. Yes, there are people that code for fun, to make some little things working and cool or whatever. So this was my idea about mixing the hierarchies of competence with confidence in software development. There are too many abstractions, like the titles, that are somehow trying to embed competence, but this is not always the case. Competence and confidence should be mixed, but in reality they are just, especially outside of one single pyramid of competence. And if you look the game from the above, there are tons of pyramids, and being on the top of one pyramid does not give you true competence, unfortunately.